On center court, Alex Eala just destroyed the 2024 Dubai champion. The WTA as a whole is still attempting to comprehend what it witnessed. Not because the outcome was erratic, since it wasn't. And there's the difference that, at the moment, completely alters Southeast Asian tennis.
20-year-old Filipino tennis star Alex Eala has sent Melbourne Park crowds into an absolute frenzy. We'll go live to Ollie Haig, who's in Garden Square for us this evening. Ollie.
The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Tournament in 2026 with a 488, 211 prize pool, WTA 10,000 status, and 1,000 ranking points for the winner, championships were meant to be a showcase for the top athletes in the sport. At first, 18 of the top 20 players in the world competed in a field that was prepared for the Aircraft Club tennis arena. Sula Tolak, the tournament director, had every reason to anticipate the big event he had been preparing for. The withdrawal then began. Aryna Sabalenka, the world's top player, left after winning the Australian Open due to physical weariness. Ega Sway 8, the second-ranked player in the world, has withdrew. After losing in the Doha quarterfinals, the schedule was altered. Madison Keys, who is placed 17th, is sidelined due to a thigh issue. After the draw, Victoria Mbako, number 10, announced her withdrawal. 24 players had either retired mid-tournament or pulled out before their first games by the time the dust settled. The start of the event, 16 of the top 20 were simply absent. And Alexandra Mano Ayala, who was born in Quezon City, Philippines, on May 23, 2005, discovered her calling amid the rubble of that disaster. Ayala did not make it through the qualifying bracket to the main draw. Madison Keys' withdrawal was the reason. Before the draw had even solidified, 53-ranked McCartney Kessler withdrew out due to a lower back ailment, solidifying her berth. Ayala unexpectedly found herself in the main draw of a WTA 1000 event without hitting a single qualifying ball. On February 16th, Ayala arrived in Dubai ranked 47th in the globe. This is the point at which the narrative shifts from being about chance to being about Alexandra Ayala in particular. Hailey Baptiste, an American ranked 45th in the world, was Ayala's opponent in the first round. The game was short-lived. Baptiste was forced to quit due to injury after Ayala won the first set 6-4 and began the second set behind 0-1. Her first main draw victory at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships was achieved with a calm start, no viral moment, and no crowd eruption, just moving forward and saving energy. No one in the stadium was aware of what it was about to become. Everything changed in the second round. On February 17th, Jasmine Paolini, the 8th-ranked Italian powerhouse in the world and the winner of the 2024 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, stood across the net from Alexandra Eala. The previous year, this player had won this exact competition. The ceiling was meant to be respected. Eala showed no regard for it. There was no competition in the first set. The press section was shocked by Eala's scoring line of 6-1. However, Alexandra Eala's 2026 narrative was actually written in the second set. Eala landed 67% of her first serves during the game. Additionally, Eala won 86% of the points on those first serves, a remarkable proportion that essentially negated Paolini's return game in that first set. The anarchy then ensued. In the second, Eala took a 5-3 lead. In the ninth game, Eala had 3 match chances on Paolini's serve, but she failed to convert any of them. Ranked 8th in the world, Jasmine Paolini made a comeback. Paolini then had a 6-5 lead. Paolini then forced a decisive third set with set points. In the 11th game, the 5,000-seat Aviation Club tennis stadium, which was almost exclusively occupied by Filipino expatriates from the United Arab Emirates, fell silent in a manner akin to a group holding their breath. After that, Alexandra Eala won the tiebreak 7-5. Eala's 5th match point of the game was a forehand winner. This time, the audience did not fall silent. The umpires had to step in because of how loudly they erupted. The duration of the game was 1 hour and 40 minutes. Eala has just defeated a player ranked in the top 10 for the third time in her career. However, the significance of that victory extended beyond the scoreboard. Let's be specific about what was going on inside that stadium with 5,000 seats because those in attendance came up with a unique analogy to explain it. They referred to it as Beatlemania reborn. At the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, the enormous Filipino expatriate community in the United Arab Emirates demonstrated unprecedented support for Alexandra Eala. Handmade placards, coordinated chants, and a volume of noise that necessitates umpire intervention during live points. Eala's matches sold out the Aircraft Club Tennis Stadium, and most of the 5,000 seats were occupied by Filipino kababayans who had traveled to see one of their own compete at the top level of the sport. After the Pauini victory, Eala said it simply. There were Filipinos for days when I looked up. A certain form of patriotism that transcended tennis was embodied by a sign in the crowd. A mother displayed a placard that said, "Alex, please marry my son." Eala's light-hearted finger wag in reaction to the woman was captured on camera, shared, and went viral, spreading the word about what was going on in Dubai well beyond the tennis community. This was no longer only a narrative about athletics. In front of thousands of spectators in a stadium in the United Arab Emirates, Alexandra Eala had turned into a cultural event in real time, displaying her flag in a foreign nation and treating a tennis quarterfinal run like a national holiday. At that point, things changed in a way that the sport had not completely expected. IA entered center court once more during the evening session on February 18th. Srana Krista, a seasoned Romanian player with years of WTA experience and the tactical acumen to handle challenging situations, is ranked number 32 across the net. That evening, Cersti did a poor job of controlling both Alexandra Eala and the surroundings. The scoreline remained on serve in the first set, which was fiercely contested, until the 11th game, when I broke for 65 and quickly consolidated to win the set at 75. With several unintentional mistakes by Cersti, Eala jumped up to a 4-0 lead in the first set. The veteran from Romania battled back, winning 3 straight games to trim the deficit to 5-4. Eala gave love her last service game. Final results, 6-4, 7-5. The match lasted 1 hour and 38 minutes. With the victory, Alexandra Eala made history as the first Filipino to advance to the quarterfinals of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. The combination of Eala's play and the partisan environment the Kabayan audience created around each point, in addition to Sarah's tennis, was regarded by observers as gradually wearing him down. This is the portion of Alexandra Eala's narrative that you won't see in the highlight reels. Eala became the youngest Asian woman to win several WTA 1000 titles in the top 10 before turning 21 at the age of 20 years and 268 days. She achieved that milestone 82 days ahead of Naomi Osaka, who had previously held the record. Although Kinwan advanced to several WTA 1000 quarterfinals prior to turning 21, Eala's age at this point is currently the standard. By February 16, 2026, her career earnings had exceeded $1.57 million. As a quarterfinalist, she received 215 ranking points, which propelled her into the top 38 worldwide. A new professional high that significantly alters her future access to Grand Slam main and WTA 1000 draws. There will be no more qualifying brackets. Put an end to wishing for fortunate loser spots. However, the data contains a contradictory reality. And that is worthy of being said explicitly. A graveyard of withdrawals served as a major inspiration for this Filipina folktale. Alexandra Eala was not selected for the main draw in Dubai. Madison Keys withdrew due to a thigh injury, so Eala was elevated. McCartney Kessler's lower back gave out, confirming Eala's position. Arina Sabalina, the world's top player, was not present. EGA Sway 8, the player ranked second, was absent. A $4.88, 211 WTA 1000 event lacked 16 of the top 20 players. Sulla Tahalak, the tournament director, openly questioned if the reported injuries were as serious as claimed. Tahalak advocated for ranking point deductions as a more significant penalty, claiming that the present WTA fines were insufficient to deter elite players who make millions of dollars a year. Practically speaking, Tahalak was describing the precise vacuum that provided her route. Nevertheless, Eala filled that need and succeeded. In straight sets, Eala overcame the 2024 champion. After losing 3 match points, Eala prevailed in a tiebreak. While Srana Syria broke under the pressure, Eala maintained her composure in front of 5,000 yelling fellow citizens. Because Eala is in the opposite situation, the parallel to Egyptian wildcard player Ms. Abdul Kader, who was given a wild card at an event in Kenya and lost 6-0 while winning just 3 points overall, is instructive. Alexandra Eala's forehand victory on her 5th match point on the court addressed the wild card legitimacy question that Salata's reign had sparked. But what comes next? The data is unable to provide a complete solution to that question. Alexandra Eala's quarterfinal opponent is Coco Gauff, the 4th-ranked player in the world and, significantly, Eala's former doubles partner. After a performance against Elise Mertens that was considered as unpleasant to watch, Gauff advanced to the Dubai quarterfinals despite making 16 double faults. Gauff is the highest-seeded player still in the top half of the draw going into the match. Mutual recognition is the foundation of the story around this match. Gauff saw the might of the Filipino people in the stands. For her part, Eala described the forthcoming game as a no-lose learning opportunity. A strategy that is both tactically astute and modest for a 20-year-old taking on a top-5 opponent. This quarterfinal is the player's 2nd time competing in a WTA 1000 last 8. She went into Dubai ranked 47th after making it to the Miami Open semifinals in 2025. She had a career-high prediction into the top 38 in the world going into the golf match. The tennis arena for the Aircraft Club will once more be completely booked. There will be the Cabayan crowd once more. Additionally, Coco Gauff, who committed 16 double faults in her most recent game, will enter a court where 5,000 spectators who are not supporting her will be present for each failed serve. However, the data leaves this question entirely unresolved. Tennis commentators expressed particular concerns about Eala's physical conditioning over several high-intensity rounds after observing her evident fatigue during the 2nd set against Paolini. That becomes the key factor in a quarterfinal matchup with a top-5 player who, despite her double fault issues, is still among the young women on the WTA Tour with the best physical preparation. The records belong to Eala. The crowd is with Eala. The whole Filipino diaspora watched in real time as Eala gained momentum, ranking points, and a forehand victory. But since her personal fitness has already been identified as the one barrier her technical game hasn't yet overcome, can Alexandra Eala maintain a top 10 level of play for one more match against the highest-rated opponent she's ever faced in a WTA 1000 quarterfinal? There is no answer to the question.